10:06.
Jake Hartford and John Kass in for Bruce and Dan on 89 WLS, taking your calls.
It's a lovely October 2nd in Chicago.
It's gorgeous. You know what? It's soccer weather. You should, by the magic of radio, I just want to give you a description of Jake's face. It's not happy. Okay?
There's going to be a soccer game at Soldier Field in the middle of February.
Yeah.
College.
That may be.
Why?
Because they're men and they play in shorts. And they don't...
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can do as a man in shorts, but you don't do it at Soldier Field in the middle of February. Let me just say that.
We'll see. This is Notre Dame, and Our Lady protects them, and we love Notre Dame at this station, and so do I.
Anyway, tomorrow night on True TV, they're going to have South Beach Tow, which is one of my favorite shows, and I'll be watching.
Is that about some disreputable, drunken, slovenly people who No, that was
on HSN. They're going to have
news.
On Home and Garden Network. I'm sorry, they're going to have what's the show where you're home seekers, whatever that is.
Yeah,
house hunters. Yes,
house hunters.
I'll be watching that too. Maybe
that's fake. What about is the Obama phone lady? Is she going to get her own? Is she going to get her own reality show? Because I think that would be good. It would be like the companion to Honey Boo Boo show.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think so?
All right. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Chicago time, the debates between Mitt Romney. See, that's why I'm not moderating him.
Right.
Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. And the president who calls the debates a drag, and he doesn't think he's going to do well because he's not a good speaker. And,
shucks.
And he's going up against the slick Mr. Romney who knows how to talk and has debated a lot. And
Romney's like Daniel Webster in the stories. For those of you who know who Daniel Webster is.
If the president comes out and just gets his name right, he's the winner tomorrow. Because he has just put the expectations for himself so low.
Oh, I'm just Barack Obama of the golden tongue, but I'm really not a good debater. Meanwhile,
getting back from Vegas after 3 days and
rolling
tired.
the olives down smoking Winston Reds. But meanwhile, the media is in another spasm of self-righteousness, and I'm in the media, so I know this and feel it. The New York Times ombudsman was saying we're not really biased. There's no real mainstream media bias to the left. And then I see this story on Drudge. It's from Newsbusters, which is a conservative media watch group, that ABC's George Stephanopoulos, fellow Hellenic American, basically has called the post-debate spin for the president debates 8 out of the last 9 times for Democrats. Is that amazing?
Because they're just better debaters.
Is that?
They have better ideas.
Or is it the media is overpopulated by liberal Greek guys and they need a conservative Greek guy? What is going on with this 8 out of 9 times? Georgi, what's going on with you? 8 out of 9.
Well, it doesn't matter, because the next debate is still 50-50.
Whatever.
In a series of things, 8 out of 9 would be a big to do, but each debate is a chance unto itself, which is 50-50.
No, not the way it's set up, because whatever Obama says, he'll be great. Whatever Romney says will be considered not great.
But just because it is, does that make it wrong?
You're confusing me. What do you mean?
Well, just because that's the way the result comes out, does that mean it was a bad result, if that's the truth?
But the result is the
truth?
Result. Is it the truth, George? Was it Gerald Ford, in his debate with Carter, basically kicked the floor with him, but he made one statement about Poland not being part. He misspoke. It was a gaffe. But when a Republican makes a gaffe, it's a huge thing, Jake. How many gaffes has President Obama made lately?
None. Perfect.
Because he's just eye candy. I'm just President Eye Candy.
There is a political ad out.
He is pretty, though.
There is a political ad out where they use that. They used a clip from The View where he says, "I'm just here as eye candy."
And it's a pro-Obama ad.
No, it's not.
Really?
Surprise, surprise. No, it's a Republican ad.
I
think
can't
it's
believe
put
that.
out by one of the super PACs.
And it took them only 6 days to get to it. Awesome.
Well,
That's moving fast.
Well,
boys.
it said, such and such. They were meeting in the UN. He was on The View, and whatever. You'd have to see it.
Joy Behar touched his hair.
Bill and Shanahan. Good morning, sir.
How are you guys?
Hey, Billy.
Hey, the Obama phone girl used to have her own TV show.
Be careful, Bill.
No, it was Flip Wilson.
I'm pressing the dump button. I'm ready. What?
It was Flip Wilson doing Geraldine.
It was a flip phone.
It was a flip phone. But she wanted the iPhone, I think.
It was the same voice.
No, it was not. I think, is Flip Wilson alive? Dead or alive?
No, he's dead.
He's dead, poor guy. I love this show.
And you remember when Stephanopoulos interviewed Obama about 3 years ago? And Obama was telling him about his Muslim upbringing, and Stephanopoulos corrected him. You mean your Christian upbringing?
Oh, you mean he wanted him to stay on script?
Yeah, he corrected him right on TV.
I don't know about these Greeks in the media. What can I say?
I'm telling you.
Thanks,
I'm
Bill.
telling you, I'm going to call the Archbishop right now.
Dodie and Joliet. Good morning, Dodie.
Hi.
Hey, Toad.
Hi. I'd like to make a comment.
Let's hear it.
Stop putting the frosting on Obama's cake. I do not like the way you're talking about Romney. It's not true.
What's not true?
That you say he made gaps. He's so on the line. It's unbelievable.
That's John Kass saying that, Dodie. I just want the record to reflect that.
Dodie, I want to say that what I was trying to say, but I'm not articulate enough.
Shame
to
on you,
express
John.
myself,
Shame on you.
is that the media, of which I am a member.
Well, I understand that.
John is a very prominent member of the media. He's not
mainstream.
He's not in the back of the pack of the media. He's up front because he's on page 2 of the Tribune Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
I would like to ask you, Dodie and Jake, my two friends here, if there was no mainstream media, what would talk radio be talking about? Towing shows?
Maybe the economy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Or how about the health plans?
Do you like Obama's health plan, Dodie?
I cannot stand it.
What do you like about Romney,
I was
Dodie?
a Democrat. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
The fact he looks like Lyle
honest,
Wagner?
He's so far above with all his comments.
Yeah, except
it's ridiculous.
All right, do you make Jell-O, Dodie? Do you know do you make Jell-O?
Sure.
Do you know that people that of the Mormon persuasion in Utah are known to eat more Jell-O than any other group in the United States?
Wow, that's great.
Does that make you? Because that's the one thing I don't like. I can't stand Jell-O, and it kind of bothers me.
Some people can't, especially diabetics.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Dodie.
Thanks, Dodie.
Bye-bye, Dodie. Yeah, got to get traffic for her because I know she's on her way somewhere right now. 10:15, time for 89 WS traffic. 10:16. I'm sorry. I apologize to Dodie there. It's just that all of a sudden I'm in between a conversation between you, John, and Dodie about Jell-O. That's not how I want to live my life.
And the kid will stare at the plate and ask, "What's for dessert?" And you answer, "Jell-O pudding."
There is nothing more horrid than Jell-O with floating pineapple chunks.
In case anybody from the Jell-O company are listening.
And I'm just telling you that Utah, well, I found this interesting because reporters, we actually report the news, Jake. We're not just, speculating. Facts are that Utah leads the nation in Jell-O per capita consumption. I think they eat like 10 pounds of Jell-O
Because
a year.
so what? What is Chicago?
What is that about? What does it tell you?
What does Chicago lead the nation in? Italian beef sandwiches?
Beef
So what?
sandwiches?
So
I'm
what?
just saying. It's
So
just
what?
Quit defending the Jell-O people.
I'm in the pocket of big Jell-O.
You're in the pocket of pineapple chunks and Jell-O. I can't stand it.
Jim
Let's
and
take some
Hammond. Good
calls.
morning, Jim.
Yeah. I just want to follow up.
Jim, what's your favorite Jell-O flavor?
Oh, it's cherry.
All right, thank you.
Jim, it makes me sick. What's your question?
Okay, well, it's basically a comment. I remember Sean Hannity interviewing Stephanopoulos years ago. I think it was in the Kerry campaign, and so they asked him, "What should George Bush do?" And he said, "Well, I can't, help I can't comment what it should do." He says, "What about Kerry? 9 things that Kerry could do." And he says, if he does that, he didn't say, he's got a chance. He says, we've got a chance. And don't forget, Stephanopoulos is the one that set up that whole thing with the female contraception with Romney and that debate that he did. He's just a total shill for the Democratic Party. All these people, all these moderators in this upcoming debate, they're all shills for the Democratic Party.
That's why tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at South Beach Tow.
I think people should watch the debate, whether you tape it, whether you go to the Fire game and tape it, or watch it.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Actually, what you do, the best way for the debate, don't watch on TV. Because you'll forget how the camera's going to show the people. You want your mind to be unfiltered. Just listen. You can listen to the debate on radio on WLS, and then you can have the TV on for South Beach Tow. So you get the best of both worlds. You can hear the debate unfiltered, right. Plus you get to see the women in the string bikinis on TV as you're listening.
Well, that's important. String bikinis are more important apparently than what's going on in Iraq, but I would like to see that bead of sweat building on Obama's lip when he tries to defend some of his policies.
Patrick in Barrington. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning. Good morning. I can explain why the Utah eats so much Jell-O. Those are Jell-O shots.
I think it's illegal to even drink a shot. And I was in a cowboy
in Utah,
bar.
Really? Well, for Mormons, I guess it is.
I take that back.
All of Utah.
I take that back. I remember there was a woman named Kathy Crowell Webb who was. She had recanted a rape, and Jim Thompson put pictures of her panties up in a hearing. It was a huge story back in the day, and I had to chase some guy, a witness out there, and I ended up in a cowboy bar in Utah. So I did have some Jell-O shots there.
Okay, there you go.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yep.
Rick in Downers Grove. Hey, Rick.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, Rick.
Hey. There is one more thing that's far more disgusting than Jell-O.
Be careful, Rick, because I know where you are, man.
And that's soccer.
Yeah? Okay, next time I see you on Plainfield Road, I'll take you to the Brewsters and we'll talk about it, okay?
All
right, buddy.
Bye, Rick.
I know where Rick is. I can just tell. I have the powers to tell.
Mike on I-57.
Hey, Mike.
Hey!
Mike.
How you doing?
What's up?
Real quick, I got to throw something out real quick. My old boss called in, Billy. So, Billy, if you're listening, it's only an inside joke. Thanks for coming in, Fritzy. He'll understand. But the reason I'm calling Jell-O, I'm just curious. Jell-O's made out of pork, and Muslims don't eat pork. So does that mean they don't eat Jell-O?
It's made out of beef hooves. I know this because I used to, at the butcher shop, my Uncle George and my dad at the grocery store, and on Thursdays, the big can of beef necks and fat would come and would be ready for the general rendering man. And I said, "What's this for?" once, and he said, "Jell-O." And I've hated it ever since. Whether it's true or not, it really doesn't matter to me.
10:21, back after this.
89 WLS. Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft. Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS.
10:28. Jake Hartford, John Kass, in for Bruce and Dan. Let's quickly go to Mundelein. John, you're on 89 WLS.
Hi. I listened to your caller who said that debate moderators are all shills for the Democratic Party. I get that Republicans like to go on a 50,000-watt ABC affiliate and claim that their position isn't represented in the media. But I got to tell you, the other day, in the Warren-Brown debate in Massachusetts, David Gregory criticized the situation where our ambassador in Libya got killed by saying the president had said Al-Qaeda had been defeated and hadn't been able to reconstitute itself, which is a complete lie. The president never said that. So tell me how David Gregory is a shill for the Obama administration, if he's willing to lie to criticize him.
John, go ahead. You think he's talking to you?
What are you talking about?
Okay,
no one said
a caller who said that debate moderators are all shills for the Democratic Party.
No, I don't know about what the caller said. Let me tell you what I said, because I've been doing this for 30 years. Not when most reporters, I would say 90+% are liberal Democrats or Democrats, And when Obama comes in a newsroom anywhere in this country, after he leaves, the janitors have to go in and clean it up because they're so excited. And and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Okay, but
so I don't know what
my
David.
Actual question, which is, do you think that the debate moderators are unfairly slanted in favor of the Democrats? Do you think that they're unfair?
No, I didn't say that, but that's a good technique that David Axelrod would use to bring up something I'm not saying. What I would say, listen.
Agree with your caller.
What I would say, I don't agree with you either. What I would say is that the spin after the debate is where you see most of the bias.
10:30, time for news, weather, traffic right here on 89 WLS.
That you two are in rare form this morning. It's like those people you have who fill in for you, and I mean, they bring me on and treat me like a hostile witness.
Find out what the candidates are really saying so you can keep them accountable. This is your Common Sense Election Headquarters, 89 WLS.
$10:37.
Jake Hartford and John Kass in for Bruce and Dan on the beautiful 89 WLS.
And a beautiful October day. Second day of October.
And, of course, someone said earlier in the show that it was a beautiful day, and the other guy said, yeah, but in February it's freezing and no one should play soccer in February at Soldier Field. And
don't blame me for what I heard on the news.
Whoever that guy is, I think he should.
Don't blame me for what I heard on the news this morning on the way in, not on our station, by the way.
Oh, so you're like wedded to it. Just because you said it, so don't you want to correct it?
Well,
that it's really a hockey game? Because we like hockey. Hockey's a good thing.
A story out of Louisville, Kentucky. An Army veteran is seeking $10 million from the federal government, accusing a Veterans Administration nurse of repeatedly putting ice packs on his penis after surgery, causing frostbite and gangrene, and then eventually leading to the organ's partial amputation.
Yes, he was, I guess, bobitized by the VA. Is that what we're calling this?
Well, he's calling it medical malpractice.
Bobitization?
He originally went for surgery on his penis, and then according to what they've put out, the nurses packed his groin area in ice for 19 hours straight.
And when it got numb, he didn't want to say anything?
According to this, it says it basically caused frostbite on his penis, which eventually caused gangrene. And it says, in addition to robbing someone of their manhood, they've robbed of his simple ability to urinate, just like every other person who lives in this world. Much like Tommy Harris did in the Wrigleyville area last night that caused him to get arrested.
I'm having a difficulty just even dealing with the subject matter, but I would say that $10 million is what the man's seeking from the injuries to his private parts.
Could you put a price on it? Huh? How much would you take for that?
This is a philosophical discussion.
How much would you take for that?
There's no price.
So let's not scoff at the $10 million.
I'm not scoffing. I'm just saying that when they pay, do you think some nursing supervisor might have said, "Hey, there's we've got like the ice cooler there. Maybe we should check it after 20 hours."
The bigger picture beyond this story. The bigger picture beyond this story is a story that's also out this morning that has to do with the Veterans Administration in general. Over 1 million service people that have fought in Afghanistan, have fought in Iraq, are kind of like in limbo trying to get health and mental health benefits from the VA. And the VA is just screwing up royally.
And they're not providing the benefits that are needed.
No, they're coming up with all kind of, they're losing paperwork, and you name it, they're doing it.
But we hear all these platitudes, right, when the politicians say we should care for our soldiers, our veterans, the compassion, and then when it comes time to taking care of them, I guess the agency doesn't do it.
That's what I'd like to hear in the debate tomorrow. I would ask about that. What's going on in the VA? I mean, and you've got that story about the over 1 million of the vets who aren't getting the proper care and treatment. You've got that, and on the other hand, you've got the VA going out and spending a lot of money on crappy parties and meetings and stuff like that.
You know,
just kind of like the GSA. Yeah, like that. Yes.
Let's go on a conference and everyone. Let's not have the bologna sandwiches. Let's have the prime rib.
Instead
like
of
that?
Instead of staying back at headquarters and taking care of business,
do it on the phone
and processing the paperwork for these veterans. So I read the story of one guy. It's almost 2 years now since he applied for the benefits, and they can't process his paperwork. I mean, they were able to process his paperwork when they sent him to Afghanistan. But not apparently they can't do it for here.
Here's a story from the Associated Press. Federal investigators are estimating that Veterans Affairs Department wastefully spent about $762,000 at 2 conferences in Florida last year that senior leadership failed to provide proper oversight in planning and executing.
And that was just one little thing.
Where does the pole dancer come in? That's what I'm trying to
At a different conference.
Right? No, I think it was like she was probably hidden under office expenses, travel expenses or something.
I mean, we have a wonderful federal government, and we want to have more government, but, and especially this should give people pause as the Affordable Care Act starts to kick in. Here's the VA, which has been around for a lot of years. They shouldn't have this kind of problems. They can't process simple paperwork, and that's just not right. Just not right.
11 of the department's employees also accepted improper gifts. It cost millions, basically, to deal with training for 1,800 VA employees. Are you kidding me? And soldiers can't get taken care of, but these bureaucrats go around and go to parties in Orlando?
Bob on 65. Hey, Bob.
Good morning. Love you all show.
Hey, Bobby.
I'm a disabled veteran, and Tammy Duckworth messed up the Illinois Veterans Administration. Now she's doing it at a national level. And to make it worse, she wants to run for office. I mean, it's a sad thing what they're doing to the people who have defended this country.
How did she screw up the Illinois system?
Well, you try to get something done. I mean, it's always has been a hassle, but you go in, you gotta wait, you have to submit. I mean, all the red tape, the time it takes to get stuff done, and anybody who's ever had to deal with the VA will tell you that this national health care is really going to be screwed up, because that's just a microcosm of what the national thing is going to be.
Hey, thank you, Bob.
Well, he's got it right there, Jake, because these veterans are trying to get what's coming to them, and the VA is partying in Orlando. Can you imagine when you need a knee or hip replacement?
Because
you're going to have to go to your alderman for some clout. Hey, alderman, can you help me talk to the congressman about this?
Because the bureaucrats don't have the same sense of urgency as the people who need the care and treatment.
Because they didn't build that.
1044, back after this on 89 WLS.
89 WLS. On your way to work and on your way home, get traffic and weather first on the 5s when you need it most. 89 WLS.
1051, I remind you to join 89 WLS and AARP on October 16th at the Union League Club of Chicago for the 11th Congressional District Candidate Debate between Judy Biggert and Bill Foster, moderated by Bruce Wolf. Go to WLSAM.com to reserve your seat today.
It would be a fascinating experience. I might stop by.
591-8900 is our phone number. Let's go to Al in Chicago. Al, you're on 89 WLS.
Good morning. The VA is a perfect example of rule by committee. My sister just retired from the VA in La Jolla, California, and was part of a committee that reviewed the paperwork within the Veterans Administration. There were 1,100 forms. There were 2,000 pages of regulation. They actually went to Congress. They testified over a number of weeks and came out with a 3,000-page report.
And I'm sure they read it.
There are innovations occurring within the VA. Right now, they actually monitor a lot of patients remotely through computers and new technology, which is a good sign, but there still is a lot of waste. But understand, too, you have the old veterans, World War II vets who are very old now, Korean War vets, now the Vietnam crowd is in their 60s. A lot of resources are going to take care of not those who are being injured today, but those who, are a legacy of past wars.
Well, you know what? You shouldn't make the people that served now wait a year or 2 years to get treatment. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
And
if you want to know what that's like, go to Canada.
And there's no excuse for spending $6 million. Thanks, Al. $6 million so you could party in Orlando while guys are waiting to get treated. I mean, that's when you started talking about that, Jake. I thought you were joking, and then I looked at it and
what, the parties?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that every federal agency has parties.
I mean,
they just haven't been found out yet.
That's that's a waterboarding offense as far as I'm concerned. You're partying while guys are waiting online to take care of their needs of medicine because they serve this country. Somebody needs to get a stick right up the backside.
And that's what I would bring up at the debate tomorrow. That's what I would bring up.
Sure.
Why is this? 10:54.
I meant spanking them. That's what I meant.
Whatever. 10:54. Back after this in 89 WLS.
An ABC News update is just minutes away. 89 WLS and online at WLSAM.com.
10:58.
Jake Hartford, John Kass, wrapping up another sit-in, fill-in session for Bruce and Dan.
I'm sorry we couldn't get to everybody on the VA.
We got a lot of good calls, and
we didn't get to, just run out of time.
Yeah.
But there's always tomorrow. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. Anyway, Rush is coming up in a couple minutes, and then at 2 o'clock, it's Rowe and Roper to take you through your afternoon drive home from 2 until 6. They'll have, guests and fun. They got the 5 at 5 and all that good stuff. So you got that going for you.
And we look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.
And again, you never know what tomorrow brings. You never know what's going to be in the news.
I can't sing. I don't have a song for you.
Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Rush coming up, and then Rowan Roper, and we'll be back here in mere 22 hours right here on 89 WLS.
89